So can Bitcoin go to $21,000? Yes, and what does that mean for altcoins? Well, let's get right into that. If you like the content already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and let's get into it. So Bitcoin is now still sitting at $26,000, give or take, and nothing is really changing for the last 2 weeks, which is not that crazy. What we have seen over the last couple of months is that we went sideways for a few weeks. We went up in a big green candle, went sideways for another couple of weeks, a green candle, went sideways for a lot of weeks, big green candle, went sideways for a lot of weeks, and now we have a big red candle. Could it be that we repeat this pattern, but now to the downside? That we go, sideways for a couple of weeks, big red candle, sideways for a couple of weeks, and a big red candle towards $21,000, $22,000. Could definitely be. If we hold that level, we are still in this parallel channel right here, and we even can wick below it, right? But this channel has been accurate since 2017, so for the last six years. So when we look at that, it's not that crazy to me that we should hold that level at least, right? And even if we wick below it, yeah, we can definitely wick below it for a short term. But yeah, then 21, 22, depending on when it happens, is definitely on the cards. The Bitcoin dominance is kind of bouncing off of this previous resistance area where we were ranging for the last 2 years. Could it now be that this turns out to be support? If it does, then yeah, then the Bitcoin dominance is of course very bullish, which means that, together with the fact that Bitcoin might come down, altcoins are very bearish. Now, I'm definitely planning on stacking up on altcoins in, like around the end of the year probably. Now there's a chart that's super interesting, but first, a lot of people now really, I notice, start to expect that September will be a bad month for crypto. And of course, it's not predictable, but if you look at the averages, then September is, the worst month there is, on average down of 7% for Bitcoin. And as you can see, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Septembers have been red. Maybe lucky number 7 right now, but overall we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green months already. Yeah, usually these pre-halving years are half green, half red. So we could definitely have maybe October, November or December to turn out to be a green month, but overall I think the rest of the year is pretty down, pretty red, right? And that's, I think, one of the last opportunities that we will get. However, for altcoins, it is quite interesting. So this only tracks, unfortunately, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and ADA for some reason. But it gives you an idea of how altcoins perform. So if you look at the ROI after cycle peak for Bitcoin, you'll see that Bitcoin has bottomed, so far at least, but I think the bottom is in, at around 366 days, right? It's in the middle between this bear market and this bear market. So time-wise, it is perfectly on average. Price-wise, this was the best bear market by far. Okay, so when it comes to that, yeah, it's a little different, of course. Then again, we have diminishing returns, but we also have diminishing losses. There is more liquidity in the market now than there was in 2015, so it's not that crazy. However, if we talk about the thing that people love most to throw their money away on, are altcoins. And if we look, for example, at Ethereum, right? Ethereum is quite... Well, it's interesting. If we look at Ethereum from the cycle peak, we are now here. That's the red line where we are right now. And if we look at the last cycle, for example, it took a lot longer for Ethereum to bottom. And we are well on track, right? Where we were last cycle when it comes to the ROI, we are now at basically the exact same point. So, we don't repeat this absolutely like we had the last cycle, but is it possible for Ethereum to go lower for the rest of the year, right? We still have, when it comes to this, 220 days around. So we have 110 days to go, which is around 4 months. So it makes sense that maybe at the end of the year, Ethereum finally finds its bottom somewhere. won't be that crazy if you ask me. When we look at XRP, we are now here, the orange line. Yeah, in the first cycle for XRP 2015, it bottomed pretty fast. Last cycle, it took XRP a long while to bottom. It had that last flash crash basically right here after 800 days. And then finally, you know, we had the bottom. If we look at Litecoin, you will see that we are now well on track basically. So Litecoin is, you know, price wise way higher than what it was before, but time wise we should be, you know, somewhere there on average. Cardano also takes a long time. The last cycle it took Cardano, yeah, also around 800 days to bottom. We are now at day 484, give or take, and we are getting on average also price wise. So it's quite interesting, and again, it's too bad that this only has these altcoins listed for some reason. Would be nice if we can get the top 50 right there to get a better understanding. But you know, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and Cardano are altcoins that show a pretty decent average of what altcoins do, of course. Now the total, wait, if we go back to Bitcoin, I want to make this video a little shorter than what I usually do. Yeah, if we go back to Bitcoin, you will see something pretty interesting. If we pop up the stochastic RSI, it's going to fuck with me saying that I have to upgrade my plan. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, of course. Stochastic RSI on the weekly for Bitcoin is getting pretty oversold, right? Like really oversold. The last time was here, and we had a pretty decent bounce from 17k to 25k. Time before that, we were here. We had that bounce from 30k to 70k. Well, it was not really a bounce, it was a bull market. We haven't really been this oversold, right? However, we are just entering that oversold stage. So don't get it twisted, because here we were just entering it as well, but we still went from 50 to 30 first. Here we were entering it, and we still went from 30 to 17 first, right? So we want to see this play out, and that's the moment where the market usually goes really down. And this overall took from May till July. This right here took from December till March, right? So 2-3 months. So it makes sense, September, October, November, maybe December this time, to be red. And then finally Bitcoin gets out of the bear market, right? This is not, a lot of people say, oh, it's the bull market. It's not a bull market yet. This is not a bull market. This is it's the pre-halving year. We always go up first half of the year and then go down, right? It's nothing new. If you look at Bitcoin on its bull market support band, you will see that we now are below it. So yeah, that's finally showing weakness. If we look at the altcoin market, yeah, we have been below it basically ever since the bear market started. We tried to get up right here, but we kept on knocking and still got rejected by it. So the altcoin market is running behind, it is lagging, it is not looking good. And Benjamin Collins said something really useful and logical. He basically says like there is no new money coming into crypto, right? There are a lot of charts that show that. So if we have this Bitcoin pump where, like we've just seen the last, well, the whole year basically, where is it coming from? It's money shifting around, right? People, they take money from altcoins. Listen to this, it makes a lot of sense. People, they realize like, hey, the Bitcoin halving is coming up. And I just repeat what he says, but it makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin halving is coming up, so there will be a Bitcoin bull run. Let me take that altcoin that is going down, put that money into Bitcoin, and therefore Bitcoin is going up and altcoins are going down. At a certain point, you won't get as much Bitcoin for your altcoins, right? For the one that I have right here, for example, you now get 1,580 Satoshis, right? But a couple of months ago, you would have got 5,000 Satoshis. Here you would have got 7,000. Here you would have got 14,000 Satoshis, right? So at a certain point, there is no more liquidity in altcoins, right? So altcoins are already down, but there's nothing more to put into Bitcoin. And that make sure that Bitcoin is now finally going down. Yeah, and when Bitcoin goes down, the altcoin liquidity is already gone, so altcoins go down even harder. That's when everything bottoms out. That's where everybody thinks it's over. And at a certain point, you know, whatever the narrative is, always so far, slightly a few months, 2 months after the halving, new money comes into crypto. And as there is not a lot of liquidity, it makes it very easy to pump quite hard. So it kind of makes sense. It all kind of makes sense, right? There is still some liquidity into altcoins though. Like if you look at Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, it has been going down since a year right now, right? We make lower highs. Ethereum is losing the battle right here. And at a certain point, Ethereum will have to decide, are we going up or are we going down? Now, if I look at this, we have our accumulation phase, our uptrend, our distribution phase. And how does a market cycle look? Well, after that, you always have a downtrend. When this downtrend happens, and not even if, I think when it happens, that's when you see altcoins have their final capitulation. And a lot of people feel like, oh yeah, well, final capitulation, maybe, maybe not, just dollar cost to be sure, right? A final capitulation could really look like 60, 70% down from the lows where we are already, right? And that could be really painful for a lot of people, right? Like CDFI, my biggest holding, yeah, if it goes down another 60% from here, it ends up being 25 cents, right? That could happen, right? And a lot of your favorite altcoins, yeah, you don't want to hear it, but it could happen as well, right? Illuvium, for example, people bought Illuvium like crazy, big hype. Yeah, are you still bullish on it when it's like $15? Don't tell me that it can't happen. When it was like $500, nobody thought it was going to 50 as well, or 40 or whatever, right? When it was $2,000 almost, nobody thought it was going to 5. Like, it's always, it can never go lower until it happens. Yeah. So I want to see how that plays out. I'm gonna really dollar cost into Bitcoin and later this year, beginning next year, into altcoins to give myself a great position for the next bull market, because we must understand that how far it goes down, the bigger the opportunity becomes. So for everybody that calls me a bear, I am a mega bull. But you have to know when to do what in this market. So this is my thesis. Let me know what you think of it. Shout out to the Patreon subscribers, by the way. They get all this information early and a lot of extra stuff. So definitely check it out. There's a link down below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon.